I'm Luke McAvoy.
And I'm Tate Morris.
And you're listening to the Traffic Barrel Podcast.
I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that?
I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that?
I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong.
Oh, do you think that? Oh, do you think that? I'm your host, Luke McAvoy.
And I'm Tate Morris.
Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Traffic Barrel Podcast. Here for episode 7-ish, I think.
It's 7, yeah.
We're pretty tired. We're drinking some coffee. We almost elected for nap time before this, but he had already made the coffee, and I'm like, well, I can make coffee. So we're drinking coffee.
We're doing this earlier than usual, too.
We are. It is. It's actually like 1 p.m. instead of 2 p.m.
Whole hour.
But I don't
That's
know.
a whole episode of 60 minutes we could have watched before.
I know.
Never
We just
watched
ate McDonald's. That's what we were doing before this. We ate McDonald's and watched Hulu. But yeah, if you haven't noticed, we're not in the place we normally record.
We're not?
No, we're not. You can probably tell whether you're on audio or video, because if you're video, obviously, we're in our kitchen.
There's
When there's not a workbench and some brickboard behind us, there's clean dishes, because our kitchen's nice and clean right now. And if you're in audio, you can probably hear.
They couldn't before, they sure can now.
I'm sorry, I just blew into the microphone, but yeah, you can probably hear the lovely
The AC.
blowing sound of our AC unit, because here's the thing. We've been under an excessive heat warning here in Indiana for like 8 days now.
Yeah.
It's hot. We are not recording this in our garage today, and there's not a place in our house.
There's a high of 91 today.
Yeah. There is not a place in our house where you can't hear this AC unit running. So if you can hear the distant hum of an air conditioner, you're just going to have to live with it, because we're not turning it off. I've been sitting in the living room, as I have all week, watching the temperature go up inside because of how hot it is out there.
The AC on.
Because our AC, we love her, but she tries her best. When it gets this hot, not much that she can do. I sit there, it's set to like 66 degrees. We don't like it quite that cold in here usually, but
I do.
it's set to 66 degrees, and I'm watching it go up and up and up. Last I checked, it was at 70, and it's hot. It's really hot.
Yeah.
But we're here.
We're here.
We're in our kitchen. We're drinking our coffee.
Yeah.
Not iced this week because we're inside with our air conditioner. Unlike the last several weeks.
Coffee the way God intended. Hot and black. How's your coffee?
Not
Did you
black?
think that was funny?
Yeah, I did.
It wasn't supposed to be.
You're welcome. Anyway, my coffee's pretty all right. It's like, we had a coffee that I hadn't tried before, so I tried it, and it's mediocre coffee with some pretty okay coffee creamer in it. I should have just made a latte.
Should just had it black, man.
I was going to. I was
Yeah,
intending to drink it black.
But you tried the wrong kind.
I was intending to drink it black, and then I took a drink of it, and I was like, oh, this coffee is terrible.
Should have had Tacti-Squatch by Black Rifle Coffee.
Tacti-Squatch.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but we do love them. They make good coffee.
You could, if you want to send us free coffee, if you for some reason listen to this.
Yeah, Black Rifle, if you guys are one of our 6 weekly listeners, feel free to sponsor us and send us some free coffee.
Yeah.
Black Rifle does make some of my favorite coffee in the world, though.
Oh, it's so good.
Chainsaw.
Oh, we haven't had Chainsaw in a long time.
Yeah, we need to get some Chainsaw. Black Rifle Chainsaw is only available usually at Bass Pro and Cabela's. It's an exclusive to those stores, but for some reason we keep finding it at a Dunham's Sports downtown. And when I realized they had it there, I was thrilled, because the nearest Cabela's or Bass Pro to us is over an hour. And Dunham's is over there.
About 10 minutes down
Yeah.
the road.
So we can get our favorite coffee. from over there. But for some reason we don't. We just go to Walmart and get whatever Black Rifle they have. We don't go
'Cause it's so
another
much closer.
2.5 minutes down the street to Dunham's to get the chainsaw. But whatever. Why would we inconvenience ourselves in such a way?
Well, but look at it. Now, if that's not a cool bag of coffee,
Yeah, it's a
Sasquatch with night vision goggles on it,
and a helmet.
and he's holding a Black Rifle Coffee Company mug that they actually sell.
That's true. You can buy that.
You know what? He's gonna sit here with us.
So you're gonna sit over there. You're just gonna put the
Yeah, he's
Tactisquatch
our-
up there.
Yep.
They make a bunch of Tactisquatch merch. There's the coffee. You can get it in K-cups or ground. Does Black Rifle sell whole bean coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they did or not because I've
A lot
only
of
ever
them.
gotten the K-cups and the ground coffee. But that makes sense.
That's because
Yeah.
we don't have a real coffee pot.
And you don't need a real coffee pot. We have an espresso machine and we have a Keurig, and between those two things, we have all the coffee we could ever need.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of making like 12 cups of coffee in the morning. And
That would be bad. That's why we shouldn't get a coffee pot,
No,
is
it'd
because
be
you drink enough
fantastic.
coffee as it is.
I don't think so.
And you'll just drink more coffee
I don't
if we have a coffee pot.
have a problem.
What's step 1 in AA? Admitting you have a problem.
I don't have one though.
I think that's step 1. I don't actually know, but I think it is. That's step 1 in my book. If you can't admit you have a problem, your problem's too bad.
Welcome to Luke McAvoy's Alcoholics Anonymous for coffee drinkers.
Caffeine Addicts Anonymous. Ka. Ka. CAA. I don't know. I hope that doesn't stand for something else, but if you ask me, it stands for Ka.
Feet Drinkers Anonymous.
I give people crap for drinking too much caffeine a lot. It's not just you.
Oh, I know.
I drink a lot of caffeine, but I have no problem going a straight week without drinking caffeine if I just get a reasonable amount of sleep. So it's not like a caffeine addiction thing where I get a headache if I don't have it. I'm staring daggers at tape.
Hi.
Yeah. See, I
I'm here.
often have a Celsius before work.
But
and then
caffeine is also
I'll have
what they
a
put in
coffee on
headache
the day off
medication.
sometimes.
So what if I just have headaches and the coffee makes the headaches go away? You
What
can't
the-
prove it's caffeine related.
It is. You know
Can't
it
prove
is.
that. Caffeine is literally what they put in headache medication. It's like the
Some.
main active ingredient.
It's not the main active ingredient. It is
Yes, it
an
is.
ingredient.
It's the main active ingredient. And
Do
pretty
you know
much
how little
all-
caffeine is in headache medication compared to how much is in a cup of coffee?
Well, yeah, there's less than that, but it's in there.
Yeah, because headache medication. Trust
'Cause
me,
coffee's
I'm very,
better for
I'm
you than
very
headache
familiar
medication.
with headache medication.
Listen,
No, it's not.
Yeah,
No,
coffee
it's not.
is liquid headache medication that's also good for the soul. Especially when you drink it black. The
Nope.
way God intended.
Mm-mm. No, that's not how the Force works. Because it's Tylenol, aspirin, and caffeine. Those are the 3 ingredients in Excedrin. Trust me, I'm very familiar with it. After many years of problematic migraines. Caffeine, I think it's like the 3rd ingredient out of those 3.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah, it works.
Works real good.
Yeah, but
I don't
means
even
you
have
don't
a
need to
headache
have
right
coffee.
now. Do you have a
Really?
headache right now?
I mean, only because I
And you're
didn't go to
drinking
bed till
coffee.
2:30 in the morning.
See what happens? It will go away.
I stayed up too late, and then I got up early because he said, "Oh yeah, let's record the podcast at 10 this morning," and then didn't get home till 11:30, and then wanted to go to McDonald's. So I was showered and ready to record by 10:15.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Sitting in the living room, scrolling on TikTok. Oh, he'll be home any minute. He's coming.
So I have this
11:36
thing called a
rolls around.
phone, which I guess works both ways.
Uh-huh.
Except that I was driving.
Mm-hmm. Sure. 5 minutes from here to Brookhaven.
Well.
Mhm.
No, I went other places too.
Okay. Well, I'm happy for you. I was just home, waiting.
I didn't know that you were
I
waiting.
just
You were
wanted him to feel
unconscious
bad.
when I left.
Yeah, no, I set my alarm for 9:20 and got up, got a shower, and was like, all right, let's figure out what room of the house I'm going to record this podcast in. And then I quickly gave up on recording it anywhere but here because it's not quieter anywhere beside my bedroom. And there's not room for 2 people to sit at a table in my bedroom. So
You could sit on your bed.
I really thought about trying to find a way to do it. I thought about going into your room.
Yeah.
But the problem is that's just as bad as in here, because then you have the vents blowing and you have the AC unit going directly onto the wall.
My room's really quiet. It's really easy to just be completely at peace in there because there's no sounds.
There's just constant white noise.
Yeah.
Unless someone's doing laundry. His
that
bedroom
is
directly on the other side.
It's more like angry black.
The wall.
Noise. It's like black and it's like a bruise kind of noise.
So to give you a little bit of a visual, that wall that's right there, right? Air conditioning unit, water heater, washer and dryer, and on the other side of that wall is where he sleeps.
Yeah.
So we just don't do laundry whenever he's sleeping, I guess.
It sounds like this.
I was gonna say at night. That's true. That's kind of what it sounds like. Don't break our stove.
Good stove.
Good stove. It cooks stuff for us.
All by itself.
All by itself. Oh man, the stove cooks for us all by itself. This is what that's what we need AI to do. We need AI to continue advancing so that it can just cook my dinner for me when I'm feeling lazy. Do my laundry for me because I don't want to. But actually, you know what? I'm fine with doing the laundry. If I could have a AI robot that will fold my laundry for me, because it'll just sit. I've got a load sitting in the dryer right now that I did last night because I just don't want to fold it. I've got laundry sitting on a chair in my room. Yet, I know I'm not the only one in the world who just has that one pile of laundry that's like you didn't wear it long enough for it to really be dirty, but you did wear it, so it's not folded in your drawer anymore. I've got that pile to deal with. Laundry is not the bane of my existence, but it's on the list. Not a big laundry fan. Excuse me. I don't know what got into me. I think a demon just escaped my body.
I can grab my Bible real quick.
Exorcism on the podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think you have to speak Latin though.
Do I remember any Latin?
According to the Catholics, anyway.
I only know sacred texts.
How much Latin do you retain?
I can repeat certain sacred texts in Latin that I sang in choir, but I probably couldn't tell you what most of them mean.
It's okay. You probably weren't singing
Sorry,
exorcisms
Davey.
in chorale.
That's true.
You
I
should.
wasn't.
Master
I sure
Chin,
wasn't.
If you're listening,
You're not.
you should.
But
he has his own podcast too.
he did at one point. I don't know if he's still doing it.
I saw it the other day on Spotify. It's next to ours.
That's funny. That's funny.
Chin chats.
I'll bet he has approximately 4 more people that listen to his than ours.
It's possible.
It's crazy stuff. Wow. Well, today we have quite an interesting show lined up for you today.
A special episode today.
It's a bit different. We've done some top 5s recently. We've had some guests on the show. Those are fun times, but we had to shake some things up. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of reading for you all.
Think of it as story time.
Story time with the Traffic Barrel podcast.
It's not fiction, but it is.
It's not supposed to be. Tate, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown over what we're going to read here?
So, what we're going to read to you guys is a 10-page paper, a 10-page college paper from a friend of ours who shall remain anonymous. In a class from a professor that shall remain anonymous because of the way that this paper is.
Yep.
And
the grade that it got.
Yeah. With this paper is one of the most absurd things that I have ever read or seen in my life.
Ridiculous.
We have had many times where we have just gotten our friends together and sat down and read this front to back.
We share it with all the people we meet.
It's so entertaining. But also, it shouldn't be. This is supposed to be a serious college paper. I was in this class. I got this same assignment. Now, this paper was supposed to be 3 to 5 pages long. This is 10 pages long.
10 pages.
And you're going to understand why it's 10 pages long.
Yep. Pretty quickly.
We're not going to tell you what the grade is until after we've read it.
Till after we've read it.
But just keep in mind that the grade this paper got will probably shock you.
Yeah, absolutely shock you. But yeah, we're gonna kind of go through this. We'll trade off paragraphs. Some of the paragraphs are really long. Some of them are stupidly short. But we'll just kind of go back and forth and give it a little read for all of you to be entertained by.
Oh, and we're going to leave the typos in.
For sure. Yeah,
Now,
they're crucial.
You might think that we're exaggerating. You might think that we're making some of this up. Or that we're just messing up or misreading it. No. We're going to do our very best. Just read this to you exactly as it is written.
Yeah, we want this to be
Pause and
true
all.
to the way the author wrote it. We feel like it's the only way to really honor the person who wrote this article. So, well, do you want to give it a start on the first paragraph?
Me a start? All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. Over the course of approximately 2.5 weeks, I had recently spent much time investigating the cultural norms of the Hilton Honors main lobby located in Nashville, Tennessee. There, by way of observation, I documented a series of 5 30-minute sessions in the southern portion of this lobby. During this time, my primary objective was simply to observe the people that came in and out, document their collective as well as individual behaviors. Only then could I finally draw a conclusion regarding the overall culture as defined by a way of life brought about by a particular people group. Occasionally, I would move to different parts of the lobby to get a feel for any slight variation in experience throughout this space. Rather than naming each observation, I will make a generalization about certain aspects brought out in relation to all the observations made. Then, I will talk more in detail about certain members of the hotel, as well as the 5 interviews I conducted.
Keep that in mind. There are 5 interviews.
Most importantly, I would like to assure the reader that all the interviews conducted with consent from the interviewee. For each interview, a paragraph or so will be given for the emic and etic points of view. Next, the artifacts will be discussed in much detail. Any connection with these artifacts in the previous sections mentioned, then finally my opinion of the specifics, then the overall culture.
The next section of this paper is titled Observations. Regardless of where I was in this lobby, there was always sounds coming from the outside. This seemed to be commonplace, for the area where I spent most of the observational work was near the back of where the city of Nashville jutted out, and the culture of its city members were literally walking in and out of the hotel. For now, I will disregard this quote-unquote culture. My focus is on the lobby. This lobby comprised of 2 main exits and entrances, south and north. The first thing that I gleaned from this was that at the beginning, it seemed as if the southern entrance and exit was only for a quote-unquote less common route. When I mean...
Which was misspelled.
Yeah, wait, was it?
Route. Yeah.
Oh yeah, route doesn't have an E at it. I'm scooting my laptop a little closer so I can
Do it.
use my eyes. I'll set this over here. Anyway,
Yeah, can we both just use that? That's actually easier to read.
if it's easier
this.
for you to read from there, then sure, yeah.
Cool, let's do it.
Anyway, what I mean is simply this. At the beginning, I saw less and less people coming from this part. This may seem like a slight detail, possibly something to overlook, but something larger was at play. Later, I wondered why people preferred the front versus the back, only to realize a missing dynamic. The southern part of the lobby was facing the bulk of the city, and therefore, when I would observe late at night, this entrance would be used more than the previous entrance. Many of these city-goers that came through at this hour were dressed in their formal attire, not speculating the occasion for this dress, possibly work, etc. I also did notice that that most of these people were alone and not entering or exiting in a group or even in pairs. With the front entrance being more populated earlier and vice versa, I started to realize...
Vice, not like...
Yeah.
Like a vice script.
Yeah,
versa.
V-I-S-E versa. I started to realize the reasoning behind the format of the lobby.
Actually, I got this up a different way.
Okay, cool.
With respect to this dynamic of the southern part more populating than the front earlier in the morning, it it would make sense that the food court would be positioned near the southernmost part, whereas the breakfast station would be toward the northern part. This was the case. In the morning, the tables would be aligned alongside the walls near the southern entrance because these were where the people were coming from. This particular hotel had complimentary free breakfast, so I took advantage of the flow of traffic in the mornings compared that of the later hours. In the later hours, the foot traffic was switched from the northern to the southern part because of both the area where people were coming to and from, and also as a result, the accommodating food options available to those specific groups of people. This brings me to an important point about where these people sat down and ate. The tables were the secret.
The tables were the secret.
Now, interestingly, there were two types of tables, but I didn't observe this instantly until I moved around to different locations. There were round and square tables. For the round tables, the majority of these types of tables were higher up and only 2 chairs were around them. As it turned out, possibly by design, this type of table-chair relationship was tailored for more of an intimate type setting than the vast majority of tables lined along the walls. These taller, rounder chairs were not only fewer in number, but also toward areas of interest. These areas include the fireplace, the windows, and somewhat... My
You
goodness.
okay?
And somewhat in distance, the TV. Just as a side note, there was always a football game playing in the main lobby. However, this will be more significant toward the end of my discussion regarding solely the observations from the series of 5. On the other hand, the square tables had a minimum of 3 chairs all together, and they also populated areas of less interest. Most notably, in the middle of areas that were just bland floor space. In the mornings, families grouped around these types of tables within a larger setting and generally talked louder than the 3 or less table areas. Occasionally, there were multiple rows of small square tables put together to form larger units of multi-family spaces, but these were usually toward the nighttime, where sometimes special events would call for larger gatherings.
Larger gatherings.
This happened only twice, but this is the only time I will mention this because outside of the observations, these events didn't significantly contribute to my overall understanding of the dynamics of this lobby area. In total, there were 27 chairs while observing. I chose different types of chairs throughout the southern lobby. Oh boy.
We're getting into it now. Hang on for the ride. We're only a few paragraphs in here. Just hang on. This next section is called 5 Sketches. While sitting at one of the round tables near the middle of the day, I noticed a certain woman selling jewelry. She seemed of Indian ethnicity. However, it was harder to judge from a distance. However, the important detail was that she was not a Caucasian. I went to ask this woman if she would be okay in participating in a very informal interview. She said that if she wasn't working as a vendor under the hotel, she would be happy to do so. However, because she was under the time of the hotel, she had to comply with what she had been told by the higher-ups in management, specifically those behind the desk. This shed light to another dynamic, the power structure of this and many other high-end hotels. In every culture, one may talk about a specific subject for an extended period of time. I'm holding back laughter right now, only because I know what's coming already. Sorry. Culture is always changing while remaining... Excuse me. Culture is always changing while remaining rich with new ideas and building off the ideas of its predecessors. Even within these distinct hotels exists a plethora of styles and combinations. However, I would like to focus primarily on the Hilton Honors main lobby of Nashville, Tennessee. As my research points out, the hotel article titled
The Power Structure Within Traditional Hotels in America.
There's a simple, not complex, pyramidal structure with the CEO at the top, and smaller units of management funneling inversely there further you get down.
That's my favorite part.
Now, the people on the ground are everyone considered to be quote-unquote non-corporate. An important thing to note is that a complex pyramidal structure is how the corporation operates specifically within itself, not the company as a whole. The hotel managers working behind the desk were mainly white. However, a man of African-American likeness was occupying a secretarial role within what is known as the cabinet.
The cabinet.
The cabinet just refers to anyone working behind the front area of a hotel or non-greeting roles within the on-the-ground people. I referenced the on-the-ground people way too much. Anyway. Next, where the hotel managers greeting people behind the front desk. Usually, poems such as these are separated into I could do this.
Just take a breath.
Okay. All right. Usually, poems such as these are separated into stanzas, which are usually narrower. Because I do not intend for this poem to comprise the bulk of this essay, I purposefully put it in paragraph form. Furthermore, the first stanza states, "A flowery garden of magical beauty." This word imagery takes the audience to a very vivid scene. In fashion with the hotel, this vivid imagery is well expected. Political protests, etc. Therefore, as John Smith writes in his Folkways article in the Smithsonian, the Plata chant is the newspaper of the people. This form came from the hotel. Later on, the Plata become more encompassing in terms of lyrical persuasion, and even several of the protests for hotels' freedom were eventually reached through the use of this lively form. From a drum or wooden barrel used to mark the time signature, or at least for the given moment, it is not unlike the given culture to appropriate meter in this way. The Nashville Hotel gave sort of like an appearance of culture that displaces another culture with regards to another culture. This displaces all cultures. This will be important later on to decipher different elements of a particular group in this hotel. I have actual tears in my eyes right now. Anyway.
Guys, we're on like page 3.
Is this page 3? No, this is page 5, bud.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, we're halfway through.
Okay, I can't tell on this thing.
Yeah.
All right, we're at one of the best parts of this. Guys, we have reached interviews.
Interviews.
1. The first man I interviewed was a guest of the hotel. He was a producer for Fox Sports Entertainment Group, and nonetheless a valued guest whom frequented this along with several other Hiltons in his time traveling away from home.
Hold on, I just want to say, I like to perceive this as his time traveling away from home. This guy's just been out time traveling, and that's just like an accepted and known thing in the situation. Anyway, that's just my little headcanon in this
Nice
story.
little anecdote, buddy.
Wow. You haven't used that one in a while.
I haven't. That's
wow.
a throwback.
Anyway.
Although he worked from home, he usually had to spend the weekends away from his family to come to the hotel because he didn't live in the regions that his family lived. The first question I asked him was why he chose the Hilton, how frequently he stayed in these types of hotels, specifically the Hilton logo, and why he prefers this hotel over any other available hotels through his company. His name was Gregory Drew. That's important. Keep that in mind. And he decided to answer my questions in his room. But the door was open, just to make things safe and obviously confidential. You know, with the door open. He gave me permission not only to record the interview, but to also divulge his name in this essay. The land of Borenquen, where I was born, is a flowery garden of magical beauty. A constantly clear sky serves as its canopy, and placid lullabies are sung by the waves at its feet. When at her beaches Columbus arrived, full of awe, he exclaimed, "Oh, oh, oh! This is the lovely land that I seek," Greg said. But however, I was not quite sure what he meant by this.
Me neither. That's crazy.
While sitting at one of the round tables near the middle of the day, I noticed a certain woman selling jewelry.
Enoch. She seemed of Indian ethnicity. However, it was harder to judge from a distance. However, the important detail was that she was not a Caucasian. I went to ask this woman if she would be okay at participating in a very informal interview. She said that if she wasn't working as a vendor under the hotel, she would be happy to do so. However, because she was under the time of the hotel, she had to comply with what she had been told by the higher-ups in management, specifically those behind the desk. Does this sound familiar to you right now?
Because it really should.
Because it really should.
If not, it will.
This shed light to another dynamic, the power structure of this and many other high-end hotels. In every culture, one may talk about a specific subject for an extended period of time. Culture is always changing while remaining rich with new ideas and building off the ideas of its predecessors. Even within these distinct hotels exist a plethora of styles and combinations. However, I would like to focus primarily on the Hilton Honors main lobby of Nashville, Tennessee.
Two. The next person interviewed was a woman. Although she wanted to conceal her identity, she was a valued guest at the hotel, and like the previous person, had stayed many nights in Hilton's.
Yes, she had.
While sitting at one of the round tables near the middle of the day, I noticed a certain woman selling jewelry. She seemed of Indian ethnicity. However, it was harder to judge from a distance. However, the important detail was that she was not a Caucasian. I went to ask this woman if she would be okay in participating in a very informal interview. She said that if she wasn't working as a vendor under the hotel, she would be happy to do so. However, because she was under the time of the hotel, she had to comply with what she had been told by the higher-ups in management, specifically those behind the desk. This shed light to another dynamic, the power structure of this and many other high-end hotels. In every culture, one may talk about a specific subject for an extended period of time. Culture is always changing while remaining rich with new ideas and building off the ideas of its predecessors.
EMIC. Even within these distinct hotels exists a plethora of styles and combinations. However, I would like to focus primarily on the Hilton Honors main lobby of Nashville, Tennessee. As my research points out, the hotel article titled, "The Power Structure Within Traditional Hotels in America." There is a simple, not complex pyramidal structure with the CEO at the top and smaller units
simple,
of management.
Guys. It's not complex.
It's not complex. Also, we yell that because it's written in all caps and misspelled.
Several times.
There is a simple, not complex pyramidal structure with the CEO at the top and smaller units of management funneling inversely the further you get down. Now, the people on the ground are everyone considered to be non-corporate. An important thing to note is that a complex pyramidal structure is how the corporation operates specifically within itself, not the company as a whole. The hotel managers working behind the desk were mainly white. However, a man of African American likeness was occupying a secretarial role within what is known as the cabinet. The cabinet just refers to anyone working behind the front area of a hotel or non-greeting roles within the on-the-ground people. Next, where the hotel managers greeting people behind the front desk.
3. The third person I interviewed was named Carson Bradley. Are you ready, guys? I'm going to tell you about Carson Bradley. While sitting at one of the round tables near the middle of the day, I noticed a certain woman selling jewelry. She seemed of Indian ethnicity. However, it was harder to judge from a distance. However, the important detail was that she was not a Caucasian.
I forgot it was in here a fourth time.
I went to ask this woman if she would be okay in participating in a very informal interview. She said that if she wasn't working as a vendor under the hotel, she would be happy to do so. However, because she was under the time of the hotel, she had to comply with what she had been told by the higher-ups in management, specifically those behind the desk.
EMIC. This shed light to another dynamic, the power structure of this and many other high-end hotels. The hotel managers working behind the desk were mainly white. However, a man of African American likeness was occupying a secretarial role within what is known as the cabinet. The cabinet just refers to anyone working behind the front area of a hotel or non-greeting roles within the on-the-ground people. Next, where the hotel managers greeting people behind the front desk. This was the extent of that interview.
4. Remember, there's supposed to be 5 interviews.
Yep.
Oh.
This is number 4.
In review, the edict is what an outsider might discover about this certain individual. As an outsider by nature, this part will be biased, and in my own right, I will realize that I may not fully understand what Greg meant by his statements. However, the fact is that his views and perspectives are greatly influenced by his experiences as an outsider to the hotel business. Although he claimed that he himself was an outsider to the hotel business,
It's in quotes that time for some reason.
his experiences were very personal, and to some degree, he felt like he could relate to his word imagery takes the audience to a very vivid scene. In fashion with the Nashville Hotel, located in Nashville, Tennessee, this vivid imagery is well expected.
5. The 4th man I interviewed was a guest of the hotel. His name was Daniel. We should talk about Daniel on this podcast sometime. Maybe we'll see if we have time after this to talk about Daniel a little bit.
Okay.
We have a friend named Daniel. The 4th man I interviewed was a guest of the hotel. His name was Daniel. He was a car salesman and nonetheless a valued guest whom frequented this along with several other Hiltons in his time traveling away from home.
Not a vacuum salesman, a car salesman.
Yep. That'll make sense later.
Not today. Well, maybe.
Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Although he worked from home, he usually had to spend the weekends away from his family to come to the hotel because he didn't live in the regions that his family lived. The first question I asked him was why he chose the Hilton, how frequently he stayed in these types of hotels, specifically the Hilton logo, and why he prefers this hotel over any other available hotels through his company. His name was Gregory Drew. And he decided...
Hold on. This is the same paragraph, guys. Just so you know. This is the same paragraph that starts with, the
His
4th
name
man
was
I interviewed
Daniel.
was a guest of the hotel. His name was Daniel.
His name was Gregory Drew. And he decided to answer my questions in his room, but the door was open just to make things safe and obviously confidential. He gave me permission not only to record the interview, but to also divulge his name in this essay.
Edict.
Edict.
In review, the edict is what an outsider might discover about this certain individual. As an outsider by nature, this part will be biased, and in my own right, I realize that I may not fully understand what Greg meant by his statements.
Me neither, honestly.
However, the fact is that his views and perspectives are greatly influenced by his experiences as an outsider to the hotel business.
That's true. It's true.
Although he claimed that he himself was an outsider to the hotel business, his experiences were very personal, and to some degree, he felt like he could relate to this word imagery takes the audience to a very vivid scene. In fashion with the Nashville Hotel located in Nashville, Tennessee, this vivid imagery is well expected.
What I gathered from the majority of these small-scale interviews was that most of the people, for the most, liked to discuss the friendliness of the hotel. With regards to the hotel, everyone seems to have a familiarity with the setup of the hotel, and sort of friendliness was assimilated.
Just not what that word means.
Nope. To make a useful analogy, imagine going to a Cracker Barrel. When you sit down for the first time, the layout is odd, and you don't know why they are playing weird music and why people are trying to put a certain number of pins in a triangle cutout. However, over time, you realize that the layout is the exact same for every restaurant that you go to in or out of state. Possibly, this was the point many of the people were trying to make. It doesn't matter how many times you ask the person a single question, but how many times they actually answer it.
What does that mean?
Oh my gosh! Here it is!
Artifacts. Is this the last one? It is.
This is the last paragraph.
Do you want to read it together?
How are we going to read it together?
I don't know.
We're not
No?
reading it in unison. Just
Okay.
take it out. Take us out.
All right, I can do this.
You can do this.
Artifacts. The first of 5 artifacts, count them with me as we go, were a sugar packet. These sugar packets are found quite frequently throughout the hotel and, because of this fact, I think encompasses a large majority of the cultural system surrounding the dynamics of each hotel lobby. Again, because I was only in the southernmost part, I realized that there were other sugar packets available. But from my perspective, it seems that these packets were an object that large amounts of people flocked to.
They were good sugar packets.
These were specifically used for the express purpose of making people's tea stand out. That's just people's with there's no apostrophe. It's just people's tea.
People's tea.
A side note, I actually do not like tea. So this type of observing came easier to me, as I was not accustomed to making tea or coffee in the morning like the majority of the guests so often did during the morning hours of the day.
Yep. Yep. So hold on, before we continue here, starting at about, I want to take it right about here, because this is also.
You want to take over there?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
But go ahead and continue where you're at.
Well,
right
let me know if I.
Okay. Anyway,
isn't that where we are?
Kind of.
Wait. Highlight it again. Hold on, guys.
So, right here.
Oh, okay.
Now where we are right now is right here.
Okay, I see. Okay,
Yep.
I understand.
Okay.
All right, guys. If you can tell by the diagram, it was blue. And the serving size was 1 packet. The total trans fat was O.
Not 0.
The sodium was 0. The total carbohydrates, both types, were not significantly above what would be considered a normal dietary supplement. Therefore, it was under 1%. This was very highly unlikely. But because it was so common, that's the end of the sentence. Sugar packets are found quite frequently throughout the hotel, and because of this fact, I think encompasses a large majority of the cultural system surrounding the dynamics of each hotel lobby. Again, because I was only in the southernmost part, I realized that there were other sugar packets available, but from my perspective, it seemed that these packets were an object that large amounts of people flocked to.
They flocked to.
Like birds. These are specifically used for the express purpose of making people's tea stand out.
Wanted it to stand out.
A side note, I actually do not like tea, so this type of observing came easier to me as I was not accustomed to making tea or coffee in the morning, like the majority of guests so often did during the morning hours of the day.
If you can tell by the diagram, it was blue. And the serving size was 1 packet. The total trans fat was O. The sodium was 0. The total carbohydrates, both types, were not significantly above what would be considered a normal dietary supplement. Therefore, it was under 1%. The significance of the sugar packets was that it was a breeding ground for people to gather. And therefore, through the actions and behaviors of the individuals and groups, a sort of culture arose from their behaviors. That's the end. There's nothing else written. There is no diagram. I can't tell you if it's blue. The diagram's not there. That's the end of the essay.
I want to read the last sentence again. The significance of the sugar packets was that it was a breeding ground.
It was a breeding ground.
People together. Means there's people breeding in sugar. What does he think that means? What was the intended message?
I don't know.
I don't understand. That line gets me every time. I forget it's there.
I don't know.
This is a breeding ground for people to gather, and therefore, through the actions and behaviors of the individuals and groups, a sort of culture arose from these behaviors. Yeah, a weird sicko culture. People breeding in sugar.
In the hotel lobby.
In the morning hours of the morning.
In the morning hours of the morning. Oh my gosh.
Guys,
There I want to point out here. The sugar packet, if you were counting along with us, the first of 5 artifacts were a sugar packet. There, if you noticed, there were 2, and they were both sugar packets. And 2 is not the same as 5.
There's also no diagram.
There's no diagram.
There
Nope.
just isn't one.
I did one time draw the diagram on a whiteboard in a classroom,
it's
and
true,
it
I
stayed
remember
there
that.
for a week and a half. Whatever professor taught in that classroom just didn't erase it for a good long while. I kept peeking in while she was teaching just to see if it was still there, and it was there for a good long while.
And of all the people that would leave it, I didn't think it would be her.
No.
I just assumed she would walk in and roll her eyes and erase it.
Oh,
She
I
didn't.
know. I know. She didn't do it.
Listen, guys, I need you to understand something. I know this person personally. Good friend. He wrote this at like 4 a.m. the morning it was due.
Yep.
Right?
10 pages.
I can't remember if it was a 7:45 or it was a 7:50 or like a 9:45 class, but it was an early morning Tuesday class.
Yep.
And he wrote this the morning it was due. He wrote 10 pages.
10 pages.
Supposed to
Well,
be
how many pages do you think he really wrote?
approximately 4, but you only needed 3 to 5.
There's 10.
You're also supposed to take time and observe the spot that you're going to write about the culture
Yep.
for about 3 weeks. And we had
Yep.
4 weeks to do this assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 3 weeks in the coffee shop studying, doing what we were supposed to do. I got a lower grade on it than this man did.
Tell him what it was.
He got a 97. A 97 on this paper.
7. What do you think? What do you think knocked off those 3 points? What do you think it was in here that knocked off 3 points? Was it? Do you think
Had
it was
to
the
be
typos?
the power structure.
Yeah, he misspelled structure into the power structure.
Had to be the power structure of this and other.
And he did it twice, so that's probably 2 of the 3 points.
That's yeah, and you know the other one was probably it's just that there wasn't a diagram.
Yeah, he forgot
That's
to put
it.
in the diagram. So those are the 3 points that got knocked off there.
Right.
This is an A grade paper, or realistically, proof that a certain professor just didn't read the papers for this class.
Professor who shall not be named because we do love him.
We do.
However,
Great guy. Doesn't work there anymore, but
what was this?
yeah.
To this day, we took this class like 5 years ago, and I still have this file
Yep.
because he sent it to me.
Realistically, I still have the file, but
I do still have it. Just
it's just
somebody,
someone else,
our
yeah.
friend James, killed my computer
and his
with
computer.
a chair, with the same chair,
Yeah.
on 2 separate occasions.
I keep my computer in my room.
which is smart.
I would like to say I want to point something out here. So where it says 5 and then it says this 4th man that I interviewed, I want to get into the mind of the author for a moment here. I think what
Yeah.
may have happened is up here where he goes down to 4, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if that was just supposed to be a separate paragraph and not numbered, but it just automatically numbered it. No, never mind. It couldn't have been that because he had a paragraph between 3 and 4. So never mind. He just numbered it. He's dumb. He's not dumb, but this is this is like the absolute peak of BSing college papers.
And this is what's funny to me, right? This was like the second to last assignment.
Yeah.
The only thing we had after this was the final.
Yep.
So he got a 97 on this,
Yep.
which he did the night of.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 96 on it.
Right. Wonder what your 4 points were.
I don't know. He didn't say. He just hands you the paper, says this is the grade. So I don't know. But he did fail this class. My friend did. He had to take it again.
My God.
He had to take it with somebody else.
What the heck?
I want to see that paper. I want to see the paper that he wrote that someone actually
For the
read.
second time. Yeah. I want to
Did
know
he just
that
make
one.
this one good? I also know for a fact that he was only at the Hilton Hotel for 2 days.
2 days.
You're supposed to be there for 3 weeks.
It's basically the same thing.
Also,
2 days, 3 weeks. What's the
I
difference?
can neither confirm nor deny that like most of the people he interviewed were his parents.
Yep. That's true. They were.
And he got a 97 on it.
It's crazy though that there were 4 women selling jewelry. for certain women
selling jewelry. And they all couldn't do an interview because they were subject to the
Yeah,
the
none of
rules
them
the
can do it.
hotel lobby.
Yeah.
Specifically those behind the desk.
The on the ground people. Yep.
My goodness.
This is nuts. We've been reading this semi regularly for about 3 years now.
Call it story time with Grandpa. Usually,
It's so entertaining.
there was even one time in college that we got together late at night.
Oh my gosh.
We set up the fire. I don't remember if we got.
We
the
had
actual
the fireplace.
working.
No, we had the fireplace video playing on YouTube on a Nintendo Switch.
Because our friend who was the RA couldn't get the fireplace to turn on. He thought he knew how,
But you could.
but it couldn't get it on. So we put it up on the screen. I got a cardigan on.
He did.
And like old man slippers, and hung my glasses down like this.
Yep.
And read the whole thing like that. Where they sat around with like the little blankies in their PJs.
Just listening to the story.
And
then we caught a girl sneaking into the building.
Yep. and exposed her, and then later worked with her sister.
Exposed her. By that you mean
that sounds
she just
bad.
got in trouble.
Yeah, we
went to
told on her.
we went to a Christian university.
Yeah.
Guys' dorm late at night.
Right there.
Yep.
It's
But
approximately 7 feet outside our front door.
it's farther than that. But
It's a little bit further than that. It's
But
like
yeah,
that
what a
one.
time that was. But yeah, we've been reading this pretty regularly for a good long while. Every time we just we need a good laugh, or we think that someone else needs to hear it. Because it's really entertaining for us.
This paper is both a source of great joy and extreme frustration for me.
Yep.
Because I worked so hard on mine. I got, like 96 is not a bad grade. But when I spent 3 weeks on it, and he did this in 4 hours and got a 97,
After spending 2 days observing.
that was just the worst.
It's just the worst.
And I still think about that to this day.
He does when we read this paper, usually.
I always bring it up. I can't help it.
He can't.
I actually found my paper
Oh, really?
looking for this one earlier today.
Wow.
Because I still have that in my files. And you know what? It's not amazing, but it's not funny because it's not supposed to be.
Right. It's just a decent paper that followed the assignment guidelines.
It's a cultural ethnography paper.
And we got this.
And we got this.
But
he did get to go to a cooler place though. Like
Nashville?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I went
The Hilton,
downtown.
and it's a Hilton.
Yeah,
So,
I went downtown to a local coffee shop.
hey, whatever works. You got to do what you can.
Would buy 1 cup of just black coffee, and would sit up there, sitting in different seats. I sat in the loft. I sat in like the seat closest to the door, the one closest to the bar.
I have an
Just-
important question, though.
I observed everyone, took notes. I drew pictures. I had like 10 drawings.
Wow. So, did you notice a unique table-chair relationship?
You know, that's the thing. I think that's where I went wrong. Was that I focused on the people,
Not the chairs and
not
tables.
the chairs and the tables. You know,
That's the
also,
4 points.
there wasn't a TV playing football there. Like, how was
Yep.
I supposed to? How am I supposed to compete with that?
And there's only one entrance.
Yeah.
There's not a north and south entrance.
I mean, back
So-
then they did have 2 doors you could go through to other sides.
But it wasn't north and south.
That's true.
They faced the same direction.
They actually both faced. That faced north.
Yeah, I think
I gotta
so.
go downtown with my hand for a second.
Yeah.
That way, and then this way, and then that, and that ways.
Yeah, I think it would
I
face
think it
north.
faces east.
East? Hold on.
Yeah.
So, wait, where are we? You're going that way. Yeah, it would be east.
Okay. It
Yep.
faces east.
It's
And that was
east.
another thing I had against me. I didn't have one facing north and south. It just faced stinking
Just
east.
east, not north or
I
south.
wasn't there when the sun was rising.
No.
Only second, you couldn't even see it.
No.
That's my problem.
That's your that's where the 4 points went.
I didn't go far enough
That's why he
away.
got a better grade than you.
It must be.
Yeah. Oh man.
Even though I passed the class.
You did pass the class. You know who didn't pass the class is him.
He who shall not
He
be
shall
named.
remain anonymous.
Do you want
So.
to say hi? Oh,
Oh,
our
this show's
roommate
almost over.
is here,
Yeah, he's hungry.
and we're in the kitchen.
We're in the kitchen recording this show. But
Would you like to say
the
hi?
show's almost over. So we've only got a couple minutes. I was going to tell you about Daniel, but I think we'll
He-
save that for
he
another
left.
day.
What are you gonna do?
I was going to talk about Daniel, but I think we'll save that story for another episode.
That could go on for a good bit. So yeah, we could save that.
Yeah, we'll save
What do
that
we
for a
got? We
minute.
got like 5-ish minutes.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about, Luke?
For the last 5 minutes of the show,
Yeah.
we talked about this 3D printed raptor claw.
Yeah.
Stab.
Our roommate made this for me.
Yeah, he just walked that way.
Because as we've talked about,
Yeah.
my favorite movie is Jurassic Park,
Talked about that with Darren last week.
specifically the original.
Yeah.
And so he 3D printed me a raptor claw from the first movie, like
That's
Alan
true.
Grant has.
Yeah.
And
he
I
did do that.
absolutely love it. So I put it on display today. What's that? Buddy?
Are you finally going to deliver that, bud?
Yep. What
He's
is
had
that?
this 3D printed piece of artwork that he's been meaning to give to a friend forever, and he's finally going to see them today.
Wait, he was
he's-
supposed to give that to somebody? That was here when I moved in.
Oh, it's been here for 2.5 years. He's had it ready to go, and they just haven't seen each other. But he's going to see them today, so he's giving it to them now.
Which friend is this?
I don't know. Someone I don't know.
Someone I don't know either, apparently.
Yeah, it's someone from high school, I
I
think.
didn't know that he knew other people.
He grew up here.
He knows more people
We
here than
just
both of
moved
us.
here.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't feel like it, though. It feels like we've been here a long time.
I mean, realistically, we've been in the area for 5 years. I
Yeah.
mean, you've been a little
I
longer
first
than me.
moved here in 2017.
Wow, you're old. That
Yeah.
was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It was 2019 for me. It's 5 years ago.
I know, you're a little baby.
I'm a little baby boy.
He wasn't born until 2005.
That's not true.
He wasn't born until 2009.
I was born in 2001. 2002 is not a real year. No one was born then. If you think you were born in 2002, you weren't.
Yeah, you just don't
2002
exist.
didn't happen.
You're a figment of someone else's imagination.
yeah.
Let that sink in.
2003 is like a maybe. 2002 didn't happen. So, I firmly believe that.
You know,
2002 is not a real year.
we can't talk about a couple of things for a few minutes.
Oh?
Yeah. We can talk about what really dulls my lawnmower blades.
What really dulls your lawnmower blades? Did you have anything to follow that up, or did you want to use the joke?
No, I just want to use the joke. We can't.
This is the thing we were doing yesterday, is sitting around here thinking of ways to say, you know what, like, makes me mad or eats me up or whatever. We were just sitting around thinking of different ways we could say that. Like, you know what scratches my records?
What are some of the other ones that we came up with?
Oh, there were a lot. You know what reverses the polarity of my ceiling fan? That's an oddly specific one. There's a switch on our ceiling fan that makes it blow up instead of down. I don't know why anyone would use that, but there's a switch for it.
It sure has one. You know what puts creamer in my coffee?
I hate you.
Cause it just ruins coffee. It does.
No, it doesn't. It makes
it
it
does.
makes it better.
Let's see. What are other ones that we had?
We sat around doing this for like a good bit yesterday.
Yeah, we had a lot of them.
I had a whole
actually.
lot of them. Oh man, you know what cools my water heater?
You know what freezer burns my ice cream?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You know what blows a cylinder in my Kia Soul's engine?
Me, apparently.
It just stopped
My
working.
stupid car.
Stupid
It
car.
hates me, and I hate it too. Except when it works. If it can hear me. I don't know if
I
it
mean,
can.
it's on the other side of that window.
Yeah, but have
So.
you seen the size of its ears?
What?
I don't know.
Okay. What else
You know
was
what
there?
raises my living costs?
Inflation.
You know what inflates
Ugh.
my gas prices?
Joe Biden.
I did that.
Oh my gosh.
can
Not
still
the
see
I did
those
that stuff.
sometimes.
I know, it's funny because you'll see them like shredded off on gas pumps and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
people go and shove them back on. We had a
Oh, I
boss
know.
in college.
Yeah.
Our boss, she kept
I
stickers
found a
of those.
stack of the Joe Biden I did that stickers on her desk one day.
She just goes to whenever she goes to the gas station. Just
was really funny. I found those.
Right on there.
Oh, man. I laughed so hard when I found those. No one was in the office when I found them either. I just saw them sitting on the desk.
You know what corrupts my audio files?
Oh, my God. Hopefully nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully
oh,
nothing.
hey, here, hold on.
What?
I think that's real wood.
Okay. It looks like it.
Should try
Yeah.
it.
I punched the cabinet.
That's definitely...
I mean, there's probably some wood in it. It looks like wood.
Maybe it is.
Feels like wood.
Does it, though?
Kind of.
I don't know about that.
It doesn't feel like anything else.
I feel, but the poor people that are just listening, they're just like,
Well,
what in the world is going on?
You're having a different set of cabinets than me. The ones under the sink are a different cabinet than all the other cabinets.
We're opening and closing cabinets.
No, do you see this? Like, this is the cabinet under the sink is a different cabinet than the rest of them. He
Yeah.
replaced every
And you know
cabinet except this one
And this cabinet is different than the others because it's not attached to
because the
anything.
door just fell off. We don't know why.
And we know how to put it back on.
We just haven't done it.
And we have the tools to do so.
We just forget about it.
I have even placed the tools next to the cabinet before
But he forgot to do it.
and then forget to do it.
Yep.
So right now,
We're good at remembering to do
it's a
things around here.
decorative cabinet.
It's a decorative cabinet door that
It
just
gives-
sits over
it
there.
gives- It gives ease of access to the things that we least use in the kitchen.
Seriously, it's the least used cabinet.
Hey,
Something.
do you know what that alarm means?
Hey, is it time to record our
Guys,
podcast?
it's time to record our podcast.
It's time to record this podcast. That's awesome. We'd forget if you didn't have that alarm.
It's
So
right at the 1 hour mark.
yeah, seriously, right at the 1 hour mark. We started this right at 1 o'clock.
We could say that that's the alarm to end the podcast.
That's the ending podcast alarm. You know,
Yeah.
that's true. All right, Tate. Now, do you think you can actually win today?
Listen, I'm going to win today.
Okay.
All right, I have a surefire way to win today.
Do you?
I do.
What is it?
I've been practicing.
You've been practicing
I've been
rock, paper,
practicing.
scissors in your spare time.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You ready to go?
Oh yeah. I don't warm up.
He's warming up. He's just
And
wildly
back
rubbing his
down.
hands together. Okay.
And then warm up.
Warming up. I'm pretty
Cool
warm.
down.
I'm ready to go.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
On shoot.
On
Best
shoot.
2 out of 3.
Best 2 out of 3 as
All right,
usual.
ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, it's one for you.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh,
That's
this
one for me.
you.
It's down to this. It's down to this. Will he do it? Will he do it? The moment
This
of
is the
truth,
closest I've
ladies
ever
and
gotten.
gentlemen.
All right, guys, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
It's rocks. It's 2 rocks. It's okay. It's okay.
2 rocks. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
That's 2 rocks again.
We rock, guys.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Ha!
You won.
I'm
Finally.
it's right at the microphone.
It only took till episode 7 for him
I
to finally win a
won!
game of rock, paper, scissors. We have had 2 guests, 7 episodes.
Guys, I'm so you have no idea. I told you I had it.
You did.
I also said that last time and probably
Yep.
the week before too.
Yep.
But you know what? This time
But it's okay.
I was right.
It's okay. You were right. And you know, go ahead and tell the listeners what they need to hear.
Well, I haven't gotten this far before. So guys, this has been myself and him talking about things and stuff and
Yep.
articles of nonsense, and
Mhm.
we've had a good time.
We had a good
And
time.
so have you, I've decided.
I hope so.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to close it out with a nice, peaceful little, like, pause, 5-second pause of silence.
We are.
Yep, ready?
Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wow, that was great. That's an
Ah,
awesome
that was
5
great.
seconds of
Yep.
silence.
Now we just like, comment, subscribe, share,
Yep.
be kind,
Be nice. Yeah.
drink coffee, do it the right way, the way God intended. Don't put creamer in your coffee, guys. And don't listen to the newest Paramore album, because your life will be better if you don't.
Good recap.
That's it.
Thank-
Also, never forget that there's a certain woman selling jewelry. A certain woman of Indian ethnicity selling jewelry.
Yep.
Should always ask her for an interview.
Yep.
Always.
And she'll probably always tell you no.
Okay. All right, and this has been the Traffic Barrel Podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Hopefully, I don't win next time.
Bye bye. Oh, do you think that?
Coffee.
Coffee. Coffee. Coffee.
Coffee is
It's a coffee kind of day, 'cause we're tired.
Every day's a coffee kind of day if you live your life right.